Hey. Welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian. And of course, Brother Nate will not be with us tonight, but he'll be hanging around. So don't get too slick because you will get chopped. But I do have a special guest joining me tonight to talk about news, politics, what's going on. Because, of course, this is election midterms 2022. And so I'll be dropping the link too, so we all can get into this. But first, let's do our first, of course. Let's get this applause going. Welcome, everybody. Now, the special guest for tonight, I've known him for a few months now. Definitely a true brother. I'm curious to know, this side of things. He's very churchy, but this side of things, I'm curious to see his stance on a lot of things. No other than a fellow Kingsman, Brother Jay. And welcome, sir. Where you at? There you go. Oh, there you go. All right. Hey. What's going on?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Let me just give you a little applause here. Welcome you properly. What's going on? So, good. So, for those who don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
Um, Jay. Also, I'm Justin, also known as Jay. I hail from Jackson, Tennessee.
Ugh.
That's a little bit. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm actually up in Milwaukee right now.
Okay.
Just here yesterday, and I'm just sitting here watching these election results as they come in. Um,
Right. Me too.
this has been an interesting day,
Yeah. Yeah. To say the least.
to say the
Um.
least.
Yeah. Definitely. Let me get over here to the chat real quick. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Nice to see you. Happy election day to you, Patty Duke. Always a pleasure to see you, Patty. Definitely a pleasure to Mr. and Mrs. Heaven Sent. Welcome. Nice to see you. And Auntie Melissa Scott. Always a pleasure to see you. Brother Nate is usually here, but of course, just keep Brother Nate in your prayers. And that's all we can do. But just know that we support him and care about him and love him. So we're just gonna keep it going. Hopefully, he's put some good juice on these elections because I'm nervous, and that's
As you
that
should be. As you should.
that is but and I'm for a lot of things, and that's why I'm as I look at these results that are coming in currently right now. Uh, I think about other things. I'm thinking about women's rights and all those kind of things, and think as a woman that if that sits well with you, that somebody can choose what you do with your body. Um, I really don't. I don't get it. Like I really don't get it.
Well, as I said before, this this last year or two. Now, don't get me wrong. I am I am a Republican, but
Conservative.
I'm very conservative. I will say I'm a conservative, but I'm an independent, but
Oh dang.
I weigh on the conservative side.
The 45% and Stacy just went down. Okay, go
I mean, Georgia's about to play in Stacey Abrams' face. It's just
ahead.
that simple.
Yet again.
They're about to play in her face, and Georgia is about to play in her face. Um, I think that she took her foot off
Mhm.
the gas. She had her foot on the gas, and she took her foot off the gas this past year. Um, and so that's her downfall, I believe, that she
Mhm.
get out and vote foot off the gas, and so this is going to bite her in the butt. I don't think that
Well, how
you know,
did you think she? Well, my quick question: how do you think she took her foot off the gas?
well, you can see that she took her position went from just get out and vote to vote for me as Stacey Abrams, but
Mm.
I think that she at the same time took her foot off the gas to get out and vote. I don't think the African American community is going to get out as strong as they did during the last presidential election. Like I said before, the last presidential election was not won by Joe Biden. I say this, and I say this in a he won, but it was not won because Joe Biden was the awesome candidate.
Of course, of
It was
course.
it was a I hate Trump. Trump is an idiot, and so this was against Trump election. So I
Right.
believe that Stacey Abrams is going against an incumbent, who, from what I understand, with a lot of Georgians, he has done a lot
Well,
of
he
good.
cheated her the first time, though.
He absolutely he cheated her. He did what he was supposed to do. If you're a candidate and you're trying to win, what would you do?
But not that, not actually being for. 'Cause first of all, you're supposed to step down from any office that you hold that will infringe on the election. You're supposed to. The fact that nobody pushed him to step down from his position and let a neutral person be in charge of that is ridiculous. But also the fact that the judge also found wrongdoing in what he did with the vote is enough. It's
Well,
enough.
you still have to understand Georgia. Yes, Georgia went a Democratic way, but Georgia is a Republican state. It's a known Republican state. What do you think? Did you think that it was going to just be overnight, and it was just going to be just because a lot of African Americans have flocked to Atlanta, which Atlanta is what threw the red over to blue?
Mm,
Just being completely honest, a lot of African Americans have slid to Atlanta, and so
mm.
it,
But I
it
mean, they've already made that hard because you have to be like a resident. You had to be a resident for a certain amount of years in some places like that. They're already pushing that. They that was one of the voting addendums in Maryland. At least to be an elected official, you had to like live in the state and be a part of the state or the county that uh, you're asking for votes in.
which I
So
believe is a good thing, and I believe, to be honest with you, I believe it's either a good thing or it's a bad thing. It's a good thing and I believe that Georgia should have passed that, because if they would have passed that, they probably wouldn't be looking at an idiot possibly getting 40 what I it's off of my TV right now, but 40 something percent close.
why
uh
not?
I mean, the Republican Party moved this idiot, the cop, the police officer from Texas.
Because he's a black man. But see, again, this is that, and that's my entire issue. It wasn't because he's a qualified candidate that you can run up again. It was just because the person in the other seat happens to be a black man. So we're just going to put another black man up against this black man, and the people are going to turn out and vote. Who do you think is that stupid to do that, knowing that this man is ill qualified for?
40 something percent is I mean, right now
Well, I mean, of course, they're just because at this point they're voting for power and they know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to do what they tell him to do, and he's not going to question it, because if he does, they're going to expose the stuff that they know about him. They're going to uproot his seat, and they're going to put somebody else in there that they want, that they know is going to do the job.
because right now, and everyone is so focused on the House. I mean, the Senate. We're losing right now.
Yeah, they're losing the House. Yeah.
Well, now they're about to lose the House. We're about to have a whole new speaker in the House.
Yeah.
And it's a possibility. They need one more seat to gain control in the House. So everyone has pushed focus over on the Senate and have forgotten all about the House. This has been a complete fumble of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has become so, we're gonna play nice. We're gonna play nice.
That part I so agree. Oh damn, the guy that was running against Rand Paul lost.
Yeah, Rand Paul was going to sweep him.
That's crazy.
I mean, Rand Paul, he's an incumbent. How long have they been swinging that way?
Yeah, but I mean, he's always been problematic, even for them. It's just
problematic, but he's able to be controlled.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Rand
but
Paul has always been able to be controlled.
Yeah.
And right now in Florida, they gerrymandered the.
Florida. Yeah.
So bad.
Florida was the blueprint that the Republican Party will now be using, and they're going to rig the whole system to where in which they're going to remove Democratic strongholds.
But then on the other hand, it's helping in Ohio. on the Democratic side. So it's a give or take situation.
That's just because they didn't do the right. They didn't attack the right areas. Just that in Florida they attacked the right areas. You got Val Demings. She's lost now. I'm not sure if she gave up her seat to run.
She gave up her seat to run. She made a mistake. This was the biggest mistake. You went up against Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, one of the long-standing Republican.
That's only his Latin thing. That's all that is. That is holding.
It was like right now, Walker has 48%.
That's just crazy. But that's just for the power. That has nothing to do with anything concerning his ability to govern.
But it also shows the slow-mindedness of us as Americans, to where we can't see through something. We want power so bad that we can't see through something.
But not only just power, but racism does that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. I mean, that's how a lot of this has started. You had the poor white folks who just believe like, well, you know, at least I'm not black. You know, I may be just as poor, but my whiteness gives me that one up. And they have spread that to I like to call them the coloreds because they're the others, to the point where that they think that they're included in this, well, at least we're not black kind of situation. Look at what happened in Los Angeles recently where the lady stepped down because she called the kid a monkey. You know, and it's just like, they'll come for you next. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they'll use you to be a part of their coalition to vote against anything that we're doing. But next, once they have us out the way, who you think is coming for next? They're coming for you.
But you also have to look at the other side of it. We have had 4 years. I mean, we're going on year 2. What is this? Year 2 of a Biden administration?
Yeah, just like we went on year 2 of Trump administration and then Obama.
Absolutely nothing. Biden has done absolutely nothing.
Who said?
Look at our economy. Man.
No, we can't. No, we're not even gonna go. We're not even gonna go. No, but see, we're not. But see, this is the thing, and this is where everybody kind of gets led astray from the actual facts of how things are. Let's even go back, right? Because this is how this starts. So when you give a tax credit, right? That's like giving a credit card. If I give you a credit card and say, swipe to your heart's content, right? And you go buy everything. You like, oh, there's some money on this card. Swipe this, swipe that, swipe this, swipe that. What happens when that bill comes? Is it not due? Do you not have to pay that bill? Yeah, okay. So when you have to pay the bill, that's when the problem hits. And it always usually hits coming upon that next that you have the bump in the 4 years, and then you have that decline where in which all the bills are paid. So when you do tax cuts, the bill is then due to pay for them tax cuts. And 9 times out of 10, that person is nowhere in town to deal with the backlash of that. And then people are digging out of a deficit. Same thing with George W. Bush. When, you know, he was passing out, here you go, here's the stimulus, had a war going on that he didn't pay for, but passing out stimulus, so you're not focused on, hey, who's going to pay for this at the end of the day? No, you're just thinking you got an extra $300, extra $600, or whatever child credit you got. You was rolling. You weren't thinking about none of it. Same thing people was doing with Trump. Trump sitting up here, you had COVID running rampant. He's not worried about it. He's talking about it. So this virus or that virus or whatever. He start getting to him. So he start handing out money. It's time to pay now. So that's going to affect everything.
But we as Americans once again, it goes back into what they said, the chickens have come home to roost. We as Americans made these decisions. These are decisions that we made. So we can't be mad right now.
Ill-informed, a lot of ill-informed.
That's an excuse.
Americans. No. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and yes, at the end of the day, we do make the choice. Either you vote, you make a choice, or you don't vote and you still make a
And
choice.
we did not vote.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
those who did get out and vote voted because they just did not like Hillary. Hillary was not she was arrogant in that whole campaign. She was smug. She was her ego was so high because she just knew she had it in the bag. But she didn't look at he played the system. He played the election. He played the game. And
Well, no, I mean, he played on the heartstrings of people that, of course, feel exactly that they don't like the brown. They don't like the. I'm not even gonna say browning. The blacking of America or the mixing of that. They like to keep things the way that they are, where they seem to be in power and kind of on top, and everybody is secondary to them. And he played on that. Granted, he's not smart. He's just
very smart. I will say he is very smart. He played to he played to the right, the far right. He got those votes.
He knew, but I'm saying he knows that niche because those are his friends. You know what I'm saying? Like when they have functions, when they're over at the dude that killed himself, when they're over at his island, that's what they talk about. So he's already known that this is something he can do. He said it years ago. He said the Republican Party was dumb and that, it wouldn't take much to become president if he decided to do it. But then everybody act like he didn't say it, but he did.
He said, I watched the interview. But right. That's the smart thing about it is he said what he said and he meant what he said. But still played to that. And then look at everything that he did while he was in office. While he was in office, he pushed everything to the right agenda. So it can't be that the Republicans are dumb. It was more or less the Democrats were even dumber because they put up a candidate, Hillary Clinton. You thought that after 8 years of an African American man running this country, that the United States were going to vote a woman into office. That was not going to happen. So they should never have put Hillary up.
But okay, so okay,
and let's just be 100% honest about it. Hillary Clinton was screwed by her husband, especially on the African American side.
Well, two parts to that. The first part, yeah, Hillary was definitely screwed by Bill, period. Because I think she should have. I think what have worked best for her is that she should have left him, totally divorced him, and then tried to run or whatever she was trying to do. I think by still staying married to him, she kind of went down with the ship. So whatever was done, whatever policies were passed, she was a part of that. Although she was a part of that to begin with. Let's not, push.
There was no speaking up for the African American community. It was a blunt spit in our face.
But to further that,
let's even go further on that same note.
But to further that, she shot her own self in the foot when she ran against Obama the first time, and the level of bigotry a little bit that spewed out of her mouth and Bill's
bigotry. Though look at our president right now. Our president right now was a sponsor of the bill that President Clinton did in fact put.
Well, to
African American
to be very clear, a lot of Black people were in favor of that bill. Now, whether or not they knew exactly what the bill entailed, I don't know. I would like to think maybe they didn't. They were just going along, but I'm sure they did. And that part, I think that a lot of the people like what's his name? Al Sharpton, who was definitely a praiser of that bill at first. Those people should come out and say, hey, we made a mistake. We did praise this bill and maybe did not realize that it would incarcerate a large number of people. I don't know. I'm sorry, JC. I'm getting all tangled up in this. Well, let me get some of the questions. What do you expect the new administration to do? Take into account the economy inherited. That is true. That is definitely something
And
that.
he inherited, but see, that's that we all say he inherited it. He inherited. Yes, he inherited, but
Yes.
right now you're looking at what has he done for the African American community as of right now. He did all that dancing, shucking, and jiving to the African Americans for us to get out and vote for him. What
No. No, I can't say that he did. No, can't say that he didn't do anything for the African American community.
what?
We cannot say that. What are you talking about? What I mean, are you looking for something like?
I'm waiting. What
No, 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 no. But I'm saying if you're looking for something like in particular, like this is what I did for black people. No, they don't do that. They do this blanket bullshit, which is bullshit because they do it, and it's blanketed to where it goes to kind of everybody who's disenfranchised, and it's not directly directed towards like
what
African
but
American
my
communities.
thing is, and even though yes, he has the house is in his hand. So as of right now, what
Yeah,
legislation
but
has he
that doesn't mean anything, and that's the problem. That's the problem that we're having here. Having the House majority and then having a Senate that is pretty much locked, right? And then you have two Democratic senators, not to mention, who playing this game to where I personally feel that they was just placed there to be the person to block the situation if, in fact,
I could even and I can
the
understand
Democrats have
I can
power.
take that as a very, 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 very a good thing. I could take that as a good excuse this, but excuse. But there wasn't even an attempt. If the Democrats can say, as of right now, that we sponsored this bill, this bill, this bill, this bill, this bill, this bill.
Yeah,
If they came out and said that we did this within the last 2 years,
there really are a list of things that they have done. I mean, granted, they have not been the most promotive about a lot of the things that they have done, which has hurt them. And just explaining it to the people as plainly as possible is an issue that they do have. That part, I'm not going to fault you. They do have a problem with just explaining exactly what they have done and how it affects or will help the average American. They have an issue with that. They shy away from a lot of things that they think might hurt them. Let's see. I'm way behind here, but they do. Right, exactly. That part is true.
and I'm not
Yeah, right.
disputing. Yes, he can't do anything unless he has the House and the Senate. But you had the House in your hand, and then you have the Senate. Yes, 50-50. Yes, you can get Mnuchin. You can you there because you don't do your research. There,
No, you can't get you see what happens is you can't get if you're locked like that, you have to have everybody on board in order to get it. Like you don't have to worry about getting you don't have to worry about necessarily getting the Republican Senate to be able for some of it, because remember that they wouldn't get rid of the filibuster either, which hurt them too. Because I feel like since Mitch McConnell said fuck the filibuster, we're gonna just use the power we have and run shit through. Looking at gonna have any argument to fight back, and it's just like, am I frozen? Because I was frozen for a second.
no, you're all
Can
right.
you hear me? Can you
I
see
can
me?
hear you now.
Okay. All right. So we can't like it's a tough situation that they've placed themselves instead of just playing like for real instead of playing soft. I do have someone in the backstage that's about to come up. JC, hey, what's going on, girl? How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. What's going on?
Good. I'm not gonna be here long. I just wanted to say, I think my issue that I have when I hear a lot of us saying, well, they haven't done anything for us, and what are they doing? But what have we mobilized together to get them to change? Like, what
Mhm.
exactly do we want them to do for us, right?
Right.
And we haven't, as a collective, said, what exactly do we want?
Right.
So based off of what we see, they're assuming, okay, he harped on the student loan thing. He's
Right.
pushing that out there. However, now we know that's being blocked, and the Republicans are suing now, and so that's being held because that money
Right.
was supposed to be released. It's not released yet.
Right.
But what do we want, right? We want
Right.
shit in our best interest, but we never have a plan as a collective to say, this is what we
Yeah.
want you to do,
Right.
and this is what we want you to execute.
Right.
Hence why these elections like tonight is really what matters. Who
Yeah.
gives a fuck what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are doing? Because
Doing.
at the end
Yeah.
of the day, it's really up to the House and Senate. What we're voting on tonight,
Yeah.
what's happening now, is
They're
what
the
really
movers and the
matters.
shakers. Yeah.
The only reason why that is really truly 100% the honesty is because we slacked on the last presidential election. So
We
now
slacked on every
We
election.
yeah.
exactly
And
because
midterms
now
are even
those
worse.
things are coming home to roost because once again, yes, in fact, now they matter. They matter now because the Supreme Court has been stacked fully against the Democrats. There's nothing that conservative wise is going to. Conservatives are getting ready. It's going to own the Supreme
Yeah, they're gonna wipe away a lot of things. I mean, even things that
Yeah.
have been in the book for ages. They are coming after affirmative
Yeah,
action.
affirmative action is on the
Yeah,
books. Yeah.
they're coming at a lot of stuff. So
because of what it kicked it back to the state levels. So now we're at the point to where now, yes, who cares about the president? Because now for the next 30 to 20 years, the Supreme Court is going to go towards the Republican, to the conservative side. So but had we had done what we were supposed to do 8 years ago, it wouldn't be this bad. So now we're looking at the statewide. States are now going to be in charge of who can do abortions, who can do states
have always been in charge for the majority of our laws and things that are in place, right? And so that's why it's so frustrating to some of us that are out here on the grind when it comes to this. With people, they want to hop up. Like, I'll never forget when Obama was getting elected and we had all these campaigns and people were marching and all this other stuff. But when it comes down to local elections and midterms and things like that, we do not keep the same energy.
Yeah.
And that's where we lack in knowing that this is where it matters for real. Yeah. So we can harp all day long about people ain't doing this and that. But if we do not get out and vote when it matters, this is when it matters.
Right.
And this is what we need to actually start mobilizing and getting people to understand.
Right.
Get your ass out here and vote in these midterms and these local elections. Right. When it comes to your state senators, your local House representatives, etc., even down to your local school boards and all that. All of that matters.
All that matters, and all your sheriffs, all that matters. So when we're talking about police brutality, all of those things matter at this point. Your governors, your lieutenant governors, your attorney generals for your states.
And
all of
to
that.
Your point, Cap. To your point, it really wouldn't even matter what the Supreme Court was sitting up there doing.
Hello.
In fact, we actually did what we were supposed to do on a local and state level. It would matter if they stacked up. They can be stacked up all they want to, Chad, because we already got to take care of here in the state and the city level.
They sure can.
That's not necessarily true because as of right now, what did you just say? The student loan. What's holding up the student loan forgiveness? The Supreme Court. So what is the possibility that could fall?
So that's actually not the Supreme Court that's holding that up.
Yeah.
For that. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying the court system, but look at who put a lot of judges on the bench.
Well, and that goes back to my point where it matters locally, right? Because we're electing these individuals to state and local levels.
Right.
And so if we did what we were supposed to do by voting in Judge such and such, You know, we wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And that falls that falls back on us once again. Like I said, the chickens are coming home to roost. It's just that simple. Like right now,
But it's a lot of chickens. We done dealt with chickens for 4 years.
These chickens is roosting and roosting hard. And right now, the Senate is taken over by the Republicans by one person. So I mean,
that's crazy.
And on top of that, you know, we have to realize too, like, okay, yeah, these local elections, all this stuff is happening and all this, and the third, but when it all boils down, like, what are we doing just like in our own areas to ensure that we are making some of this stuff change? And we always want to harp on what the officials and stuff are doing, but what are we doing locally just within our own communities
to make that change,
to make that change, right? Yeah. We have to change the mindset first.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to start out small.
Yeah.
And you have to do that locally.
Yeah.
So more than likely, Georgia's going to have a runoff election.
Yeah, well, if he's in the 5 point percentile, then yeah, they're gonna have a runoff.
Yeah, they're gonna more than likely have a runoff election, and that is going to be insane.
It's gonna be crazy.
I don't, like I said, a lot of people.
This is crazy. No, and my issue is so much for like I really don't talk about, you know, you should vote Democrat, you should vote Republican, you should just vote, period. But the things that are like being gutted, like as we speak, there are states right now getting rid of the housing program, like Section 8 and all those kind of things. So by come next year, when their new state Senate and new House walks in, people won't have a place to live. Like
I don't foresee, you know, to be honest with you, personally, I have some issues with Section 8. I personally do. I personally do not.
What's the issue? I'm interested to hear your thought process.
I don't believe in Section 8.
So you know it's systemic, right?
I understand. But at some point, we have to break through that.
Right, but it's easier said than done. I was talking to somebody about this earlier to say I can't really, and this is me personally, I don't like the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's easier said than done to do that when
first of all you gotta have
the system is holding you down, right? When I can stay laid off of work, if I got 8 kids, it's cheaper and easier for me to stay off of work or work 10 hours a week so I can get $3,000 from the state, right? Why would I go and work a job if I got 8 kids? And all these baby daddies, this, that, and the third, and they supply me somewhere to live. I'm only paying $20 a month to live here. I'm getting $1,200 worth of food stamps, and I'm getting a voucher for insurance for all my kids. It's cheaper for. Why would they go and get a job, right? And so then they settle into the mindset, unfortunately. But that's the system setting us up for that. And we have to remember Section 8 and all of that. That wasn't created for us.
Right.
But we've taken advantage of it.
But so did they.
Exactly.
So did they.
You can't say two wrongs make a right. Yes.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the reality is we can't say is that we've taken advantage of it or we utilize it or use it when it started for them.
And the numbers don't match up. At the end of the day, we are not the main people that's on Section 8. Let's be real.
Or any kind of
don't even add up.
No,
it ain't majority Black people on Section 8.
It's not limit on staying on Section 8.
Well, you tell that to your white partners that are on.
White women, we looking at y'all.
That is my personal. Ooh, another Republican seat.
And I think sometimes we have to look at the embedded white supremacy in us. And we don't even realize some of the privilege that even some of us have. And then unfortunately we adopt that mindset, and then we got it because we were able to get up out the hood and this, that, and the third. Now, well, everybody else should be able to do that. Well, our circumstances are different, right?
Right.
I mean, people's circumstances are different, but at some point we should stop making excuses for everyone and saying, "Oh, it's not that easy for everybody." Oh, because you did it. No, there's things that, as of right now, look at the job market. It's insane. It's insane. And people are still not getting out working.
Well, I can speak to that. I'm an HR executive. And to that point, the issue is organizations, and even the one that I work for, unfortunately, are not catering to the people as we should. And so people are like, I'm going to sit up here and stay on this unemployment and keep living like this until I can find a place where I'm actually appreciated and treated correctly and not being discriminated against with microaggressions every 2 seconds. And the pandemic actually showed that to us that is a huge issue. These people ain't coming back to work. They realize, listen, I will sit up here in this situation until I can find somewhere to go where I'm actually treated correctly.
Right.
I don't have to go and work for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
Well, I mean, they're gonna have to do something soon. The way this economy is looking.
But it's looking. It's not just looking like that for us. It's looking like that for the world, though. Absolutely. That's what we need to understand. It is not just somebody dropped the ball here. It is because of 2 years of mostly everybody having to sit out on the game, and not to mention when you had somebody who you get firsthand knowledge. Instead of him attacking the situation the way he should have, like every other president who's dealt with a disaster has, no, you wanted to try to, play with it like it wasn't real, like it was a hoax, which put us in a spot that we now are the same as the rest of the world, just about kind of trying to like make ends meet at this point.
I mean, but even how many stimuluses were given out?
But what does the stimulus mean? The stimulus means nothing. The stimulus is just to give you money so you can go out and spend it, so you can keep the economy afloat. That's all.
And that stimulus wasn't sufficient enough for people to survive off of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a credit card.
It wasn't meant for people to, and yes, it's a credit card, but once again, these are choices that we as Americans, we made. We as African Americans, we made these choices. We did not get out and vote the way that we should have as African Americans in that election. We did not. And that's statistically fact that we as African Americans did not get out and vote.
Now, wait a minute, Black women.
Black women.
I gotta say it. Black women. The numbers.
First of all, Black women always come through and show out.
Black women showed out. How many of them? A lot of those African American Black women voted.
Did you look at the numbers?
What election are we talking about?
Majority, yeah.
What election are we talking about?
Some people did. You got to look at a lot of these African Americans did vote for Trump. Let's just.
Which number? Which? So you're
talking about Trump's election?
Yes.
Our vote dominated against Trump.
Yeah, the numbers show that the reason why Trump actually even won was white women. It wasn't Black women.
It was white women. Exactly. Yes, white
women. White women.
African Americans did not get out and vote as bad.
No,
Black men didn't. Let's be clear.
Black men did it. Right. Yeah, Black men didn't. Black women did. Black women came out actually in the same numbers, slightly higher than they came out for Joe Biden this past election. Black women always show up and show out. It's the Black men with that macho kind of bullshit mentality that they have, that they won't vote for a woman, regardless of what race she is. And, they like that whole kind of machismo, I'm a man kind of mentality like that Trump has. So
I feel like it was, and this is just my personal opinion. I feel like this, and I'm saying this point is my personal opinion. I feel like for Barack Obama, we had a Black man that was up for election. So we as African Americans, men, got out and voted hardcore.
No,
turn
around. The numbers don't show that, child.
Turn around. The numbers do show that. I hold on. The numbers do show that we did get out and vote for Barack Obama. African Americans, the enthusiasm that we had for Barack Obama was.
Right. I mean that part was high on both sides. Like for Black men and Black women, it was high. However,
but Black women still dominated by a huge percentage.
Exactly.
It was extreme.
Yeah, as always, Black women carry the Democratic Party as a whole when it comes to voting. There's nothing you can say. Like, Black men do not vote the level that Black women do. However, in critical situations, like in a lot of this gubernatorial races and Senate races that we're dealing with right now, Black men will jump on the Republican ticket Like, what are you doing? Why are you there? Because nothing, and we're talking about people that are living in means where in which the Democratic Party is beneficial to their status right now, currently. Are you listening to what they're looking to gut? Are you really paying attention, or are you just on this? Oh, like you said earlier, what have they done for black people? We always voting. They don't do nothing for us. But what are we doing to make sure that these things are done? Listen, the other communities, like I like to call them the coloreds, the Chinese, why is there a Chinatown in every city? Is there not a Chinatown in every city?
In most of the larger cities, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still a Chinatown in the city. You see, there's a little Italy everywhere. There's you can go in any city and see something that is just demographic to a particular group of people. You don't see that when they go. Oh, we going to the hood. Okay, that's supposed to be for us. Ghettos used to be places where immigrants were. Before it just became a thing where, oh, that's black people live in the hood, or and even that has changed.
That's become a badge of honor for African Americans, and that's a problem.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I mean, the hood. Oh, I'm going to the hood. It's become. I'm from the hood. I'm from the mean street. It's become a badge of honor for some, and it's a mental stronghold. It's a mental gate that we have put up as African Americans. It's a mental gate. It's things that we've done it to ourselves.
I think we're proud of where we're from.
Yeah.
And the areas that we grew up in, and just depending on our outcome, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's when we start perpetuating the bullshit that comes out of that, as far as like the violence and all this, that, and the third. And don't get me started, because I can't stand when niggas go black on black violence and all that. But that's another story.
Yeah.
But
burns me up. Like, there's violence everywhere with other people too.
But
what's going on, Jenny Mac?
Yeah. Absolutely, there is violence everywhere. It's just we can't. I never mind. We are our own worst enemies, and that is the stamp of it. As of right now, this is the proof.
I mean, we can be. I believe we can be our own worst enemies at times. I definitely agree with that. But I don't know. You froze there, brother.
I think we can be our own worst enemy. However, I don't want us to start perpetuating that same stereotype that they put on us. And that's what we hear a lot of is, black on black crime violence. That they use that as a deflection,
right?
And granted, every community got violence. Okay,
right.
Let's be real. Every community got violence. We have violence or what have you. And of course, what black people doing against that? Black people are actually mobilizing in their communities. We may not hear about it due to media and things like that, but if you look within your communities and see people doing things, there are things happening. Is it happening on a larger scale as we would like? Not necessarily, but it is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so what ends up happening is we adopt that same ideology that they put on us about what Black Lives Matter and all that. Black lives do matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Black lives do matter. Let's be clear. Right. And Black lives do matter when we killing each other.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the numbers don't match when it comes to
black crime and us killing us. They don't. They really don't.
The numbers do not stand up. What we see about in the media is, of course, when we doing it. Right. And of course, depending on where you're from and things like that. I'm from Memphis. So, of course, in the media, they're putting all of that out there. However, being a native Memphian, I know what's up for real. Memphis is still a very extremely racist place. And I haven't lived in Memphis in 20 years. However, Memphis is still an extremely racist city, still run by backwoods, The same Negroes that's been in office for the last 40 years that don't want to change their mindset, and they've now adopted white ideologies, hence why the city's going to shit. And ain't no change coming there. That's
but they do it on purpose. I believe they do it on purpose too, just to perpetuate that kind of gentrification. See, if we changed the neighborhoods, this wouldn't happen. If we moved in, this wouldn't happen. I think they do it on purpose.
Our older family members are a part of the problem too, right? And so, speaking to some of my older family members and my 96-year-old great aunt, when I ask her who she's voting for, well, she says the same people, Wanda Halbert, and all these other people that have been in the same position for 50 years. And it's like, well, why is that? Well, I know who she is. Well, there are other people out here, honey, that are doing the work, and that should be elected and given a chance. And y'all hip and holler about y'all won't change, and the young people need to do this and that, but y'all are not giving us the opportunity to do so.
Right, very true.
And that falls on a lot of our seasoned saints.
Well, they do that in the church too. So yeah, they do that a lot. Very true.
47.3% for Walker.
That's crazy.
But y'all have a good evening. I'm hopping up off of here.
All right, sure, no problem. It's great seeing you, JC. Have a good night. That is crazy. They let that slow-minded man actually be that's crazy. I said if they actually let him win, that's crazy.
I mean, oh Lord, Beasley fell. Good googly moogly. Bud might take out Beasley for North Carolina seat. Bud, he's going against Bud.
Oh my God! Yeah, I know.
Ohio Senate Vance has taken the lead over Ryan with 45% in, so it's nowhere near. I think they haven't gotten even to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
How about I'm looking, but it's not showing me yet.
Fetterman is still beating Oz, which
God. Even that's another one. This is just if they really have control of. But see, this is the thing. If they have control of both houses, right? One, Biden won't be able to do a damn thing. Two, they would be able to block and cover up all of the wrongdoing that Trump has done to kind of get himself elected.
Well, as of I think,
or reelected rather.
I think that the Republicans, as of right now, taking but this is what the trend normally is. The trend is, the trend normally is first term Republicans. Whatever they have,
whatever they be president. Yeah. I mean, that's usually the trend, but in certain situations, Warnock, they're showing is at 50%.9. Okay, but that's usually the trend, and yes, that usually is whoever is the president by midterms. It usually switches to either being a Democrat or Republican kind of Senate or House, and that president kind of has to deal with it. But in certain situations, I think that, when we have all of these, it's like when we had the rush of the Tea Partiers. Everybody, where these Tea Party people come from? They were nothing but a bunch of bigots that was like, we don't like seeing a black man president, so we're going to do something about it and running. And I think in this instance, it's the same thing with the Trump situation. You don't like that people are going after him for doing what he did, which was illegal for him to do as a sitting president. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to call people and shake people down for votes to be like, hey, you need to find these particular votes. You're not supposed to do that. So the fact that he's placed people to run to actually be the safeguards between him being arrested, or not even arrested, but charged, because I don't think they would ever arrest him, but charged with the things that he's done is ridiculous. It really is. It really is. And the fact that people are just, going along with it and thinking, yeah, this would, actually be beneficial is crazy. Because what you're saying is the next time, if he chooses to run for re-election, that they're going to make sure and ensure that they cover up everything. Like, there was nothing he could, and they may even say, hey, we want to make a third term for him to be president, a fourth term, or whatever it is. And, all they need is both the House and the Senate. And if they have control of both, they need 2/3. So if they have control of both, it might be a sticky situation. And then you got the Supreme Court as well. It's looking crazy. It's looking really crazy.
And yes, it's looking crazy. But
hey, Kimmy, how are you, love?
We are in fact the ones to blame. And I hate to say it. We are. We cannot do anything but take the blame on ourselves. Had we done what we were supposed to have done.
I mean, we're not the only ones that vote, but I do get your point that these elections, like we said earlier, like JC had said earlier as well, these are the elections that matter. And people, we so focus on, the presidency as a jewel here when these local elections are the ones that matter. And we're, as you're looking at these numbers coming in and you're like, well, goddamn, as far as the Senate is concerned, the Democrats are down one to even break even 40 apiece. They just called. Okay, Westmore has won Maryland, which is
Sarah Huckabee Sanders is now the governor of Arkansas.
Are you fucking kidding me? See, but that's that crazy shit. That's that Trump shit. That does not.
You know what? I will say this.
That's crazy.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders did what she was supposed to do.
No, but this
Sarah got a high profile position. She got her name out there. Her father was
right. He tried to run. Yeah, he tried to run for president twice and lost. Yeah,
but he was the governor of Arkansas, so his name is big in that state.
Right.
So the fact that her name and she's already.
But I mean, she's promoted Trump. The issue is she's promoted Trump, and that's what's gotten her through all this. But this is crazy. So far,
she did what she.
Republican seats in the House are at 199. Democrats are still at 235. They need 18. They need 10 seats to stay in the majority.
And I don't think they're going to get it. I just, as of right now, I don't see that happening. It's going to be crazy. I'm wearing my red sweater because I'm
whatever, and I'm wearing my blue shirt. This was not planned, by the way. When I saw you, I was like,
"It is going to be a red wave tonight."
Whatever.
It is going to be a red wave tonight. Stacey Abrams fell 46.9%. She did this. She did not. She took.
How many percent? What's the percentage of the precincts that have come in? Because I don't see that yet.
9%.
9% of the precincts?
69%.
Oh, they may wait till about 70, 79.
Is killing Bailey right now, but he got 16%. That's Illinois. But they're
projecting Sarah Huckabee Sanders again. This is Trump though, but that's the thing, and this is what amps Trump up to then
run again. He's going to make another run.
I mean, of course he is, but what he's gonna do is he's gonna make Ron DeSantis his running mate, so he doesn't have conflict.
No, he can't. He can't make Ron DeSantis.
He can't. But watch what I tell you. He's either gonna move real quick, or either somebody's gonna do in this crazy
the same state. And
I know they can't. I know they cannot. That is true. But watch. This is the same man that moved to Florida so he wouldn't get arrested in New York.
I think as of right now, but Florida is the only place where, if you look at it really.
Well, personally, I think he may just keep Ron in Florida to protect him, to be that. But he's gonna have to. He's gonna pay him.
But that's who's going to run. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. DeSantis is who's going to run for president in 2024.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying it would be cost effective for him to run, but I'm not sure if Trump announces that he's running, I'm not sure he's going to run against Trump.
He's going to run against them. I mean, you can they're going to run against each other in the primary
and split and try to split the party.
It's already going to be split because tonight is going to show
51 for she felt 52. They just went
Michigan
up.
Governor Whitmire. They do not like Whitmire. That's going to be they're going to end up probably getting a Republican governor.
This is crazy.
Minnesota is going to probably have a whole Republican governor.
And these are Trump backers. This is the part that kills me. Like, I wouldn't care if it was just a Republican that was like, you know what, I didn't agree with what Trump did, blah 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 blah, but I still, whatever the Republican thing is, I would even be okay with that. But the fact that these are Trump protectors, that they can now mess with your vote, that's my issue. It's not even my issue. Is these governors can now elect attorney generals that would then be in favor of doing whatever, this whole kind of making your vote not count and our our vote count. That's the part that's scary at this point.
I'm curious to see how my little sister is doing.
Who's your little sister?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's what you get for that. Not your little sister. Don't nobody get. I don't. That one, she could go kick rocks. I can't.
I'm just playing.
I can't.
I think she's a certifiable idiot. She's a certifiable
bigot as hell.
Bigoted, certifiable idiot, and I really hope she loses in this election. And that and even on the Republican side, I hope she gets her ass tapped. I really do. But right now, it possibly look like the way this country is looking right now. I think she's gonna win by probably a landslide.
But this is crazy. But what people don't understand is like, okay, even if it was people that was like kind of on the fence of not knowing which way to go, in doing this, you then provide the actual sitting president no room to do anything. So if nothing gets done, you can't sit here and blame Biden. Oh, Biden didn't do anything. No, he didn't have the ability to do nothing because you locked him out.
I disagree. When he first got in, he did all these protections for Chinese Americans.
No, not necessarily.
Not even protection.
I mean, I disagree with the fact that they did that, but I'm not.
But what did you do for African Americans? And we were in the heart of that storm. We were still in the heart of that storm.
Well, see, well. There we go. But see that no. But here we go. Local officials, local states like Florida and many others declined the actual bill that put forth for disaster relief for all the states because they were not even going to entertain it because it came from the Biden administration. So they did that. So when the hurricanes and the things did hit, and as they are still about to hit, when they don't get government, when they look to their state for aid and there's none there, and then they call on the government to go, oh, help us, we need help.
All right.
You would have aid had your local officials voted for it, but they was too busy trying to play, big machismo that they were like, fuck this, we're not doing that. And this is the problem that you have.
All
but
right.
A lot of people don't know that.
40-40 Senate. 40-40 Senate right now.
This is crazy.
It's just going to be insane.
This is going to be an overnighter. It looks like it.
Oh, well, my state just elected Bill Lee, just projected. They gave it to him. O'Rourke is hanging in there with Abbott. But Abbott's going to win that. We already know. Texas.
Governor Hot Wheels needs to go. I can't stand.
You are wrong. Not Hot Wheels.
Yeah, I've always
Not
called
Hot
him that,
Wheels.
and I can call him that.
Not
Governor Hot
Hot
Wheels
Wheels.
needs to go.
That
Yes,
is so.
I can't
In the words,
stand.
that is so wrong. Hot Wheels.
No, Governor Hot Wheels needs to roll on out. It's time.
I'm
for
so
him to go.
slow. I just 2 weeks ago found out he was in a wheelchair.
What?
I did not know.
What you thought he was sitting down every
I thought
news
he was sitting
conference?
down all the
Everything.
time, and then all of a sudden I watched the debate, and I said, "He's in a wheelchair."
Yeah.
Wow.
And it has been gutting rights for the state for people with disabilities, which
And you are disability
and you disabled. But again, that's where that money and that privilege thing that you
he can get a disability check tomorrow, and
he's probably already collecting one.
probably have, or if he's not collecting right now, he has collected disability at one point, probably.
That's just like them politicians on your side, Mr. Red. They'll take the money, but then they'll always talk about some,
I
who is
just,
this?
I
Mike Bennett?
I
What was he
think
running
that you gotta
for?
realize that
Colorado.
you're not
Okay.
you're
Mike
not
Bennett is one.
arguing for yourself. You're arguing for the constituents that put you there.
Right. Well, but that's not the part that they care about. As long as they get there, then they'll argue about themselves.
Exactly. But that's the thing. But then while you're there, if you're fighting for those constituents while you're there, you're going to get reelected and continue to go back and continue to go back and continue to go back. And that's what the Republican Party is doing. They're arguing for their constituents.
They argue for their constituents. They're arguing for themselves, but they're just a lot of their constituents feel the way they feel.
Exactly. So not only are they arguing for themselves, but they're more or less arguing for their constituents. And that's the problem.
Bigotry is crazy.
If we were actually, as African Americans, as people of color, as people of, like, for instance, Florida, there's no way in hell as many people have moved to Florida who are not I'm trying to choose my words very wisely, who are not of the pilgrim race, or not of the
you mean saltines?
Yes, the saltine race. There's no way in hell as many people that live in Florida.
What? But you got to understand that's the thing of teaching racism. It's like if you're not, at least you're not one of them. And they teach those color, and I say coloreds because I believe those browns and other their color. They teach them that you're not them, so therefore you're being not them. You can vote with us. And we will, give you or promote you or, and they get comfortable in that. You got people coming across the border that walked and whatever through tunnels and whatever, and still sitting up here voting Republican as they take you and turn you around and go, no, go back home.
My God. Georgia Senate race, 49.8% to Walker's 48.4%. It's neck and neck right now.
That is crazy, and there's no way that race should be that tight. No way.
There's no way.
No way. But see, this is my issue with picking candidates that are suited for the job. Like Obama said, like anybody would say, you would not look at a mechanic and go, well, maybe he can do my surgery. Like, that's not just something that you would do. And the fact that we do this with politicians and think that, well, let's give them a chance is ridiculous to me.
As African Americans, and we fail right for it.
How do you think they played in our faces?
They played right in. The fact is, you should know this right here is this typical racism. Hey, look, I'm not a racist because look at the last ad that was done by. I'm not a racist because I have a black friend.
But that's just it though. But when you have conservative people, when you have conservative black people like a Kanye West or whatever that promote that kind of, but that's not racist. That's not something you can call racist. Is ridiculous and sad. But they push them forward because people eat them up. People follow. People, I agree. They all in it. And it's crazy. It does us a disservice when it's like the reality is you get paid to do that. You get endorsements and money to do that. But the people who actually suffer are the people you ain't thinking about. Those family members that you don't like to get the phone call from when they don't have the money to pay their rent or pay their mortgage. Those are the people that you're affecting when you walk around and talk these white boy or these conservative redneck talking points that are ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'll just say I work with a guy. That's crazy.
I voted straight Republican up until Trump election.
What about this one?
This one? Oh no. This one was in Tennessee. I did go for.
That's very true.
In Tennessee, I did go for the Republican governor. I went for him because he is the reason I'm getting paid the amount that I'm getting paid. So I'm sorry, and I'm sure a lot of people, he's the reason why I'm getting the amount of money I'm getting. So this governor has done more for me than a lot. So
there we go. But the bigger picture of that gubernatorial seat is a lot larger.
True.
But just because I throw some money your way, but it's the same thing with like if I throw a stimulus your way, it's all great.
No, I mean this was more of a value because I do work in the prison system because of the dangerous job that we do have. Mm-hmm. It was more of the value. He values us because at first we were making little of nothing. Mm-hmm. And then it was just he values the prison. In Tennessee, a lot of people our governor is very gung-ho on not just putting people in jail, but to rehabilitation. So his biggest thing is recidivism of if they've been in prison, will they get out and will they get out and go back to prison? So his thing is to make sure that we are actually, getting out and that you're going to come back to prison because like for instance, in Georgia,
but
Georgia has some of the toughest laws against,
but like that sounds great, but the reality is those people are going back to communities.
But there's programs that he has put in place that
in the communities
that he has put in place that is assisting with getting them put back into society and getting them ready to be able to.
Job placement
is in that. The DLC, it's the not DLC. I can't think of the name of it right now. The DLC, the Tennessee. No, that's the Department of Corrections, but it's a what is the name?
North Carolina. Y'all gotta flip this. Come on, North Carolina.
Give me a moment. I can tell you just a second exactly what the name of it is. What he has put in there. It's a funded program that
I'm sure,
and they can get help, job placements. You don't just go see a probation officer. You're seeing somebody who is an assistant to getting you back, getting you back in. I mean, none of us sit at the table. I agree with that. None of us do sit at the table in Tennessee. It is but once again, look at the dynamics of what's in Tennessee.
But voting would change that if people really just took it seriously and not just sat back or waiting for someone to, pay you to endorse or to promote their thing. I don't like, and the fact that we as a people do that, like a Killer Mike, and I was so like for Killer Mike. I was so like, even when he was promoting Bernie Sanders, it was like, okay, you get it. Granted, I'm, not on the Democratic train all the time because I think there's some stuff that they do that I just find like, you don't have to do that. You could do something better. But he's like playing both sides. And it's like knowing that, first of all, black men have a huge issue, unfortunately, with voting for women, and let alone a black woman. For what I do not know, you come from a black woman. So I don't even understand black men's thing about that. And sometimes when I'm in the other YouTube areas with the hoteps and stuff, just listening to how they talk is just like, huh? But you come from black women. Your mother's black. Your auntie, your grandmother's black. I just don't get where you come up with that.
And most women, what you say, most officers that I know are still black at the end of the day and are always subject to the same as black young men. And I disagree. I think that I'm not an officer. I started off as an officer, and then I went up, I became a sergeant, and then now I'm a correctional counselor. I don't think that, I think it's really how you that's the problem, is that we don't, and I think personally, we as African Americans don't know how to play the game. We don't play the game.
What game is that?
We don't play the correct game. We get out and we get in and we want it the way we want it, and we don't play the game that a lot have played. Like I have an assistant warden right now who's an African American man. The warden of the prison next door was an African American man, and it's things that we have done.
But if the game has been set up to prevent you from getting the winning spot, then how could one play the game if the game is already rigged to where you will never win? You may get close or you may feel like you're winning, but you never truly win. How could you really play it if it's already rigged when you're going in, thinking I'm just going to play to win? It's not. Go ahead. I just think it's just not. The reality is the game is already rigged.
Absolutely, it's rigged. But what is rigged? You have to fight through that. Some things you have to fight through and continue to push, and continue. And that's, a lot of people have just thrown up their hands and they've given up. And that's one of the things that we have to get in our mind, to stop giving up. Stop. Would Reverend Warnock have made it as far as he did? That seat that he had was given to him. He took that from a white Republican, a very conservative white Republican. He didn't give up.
Well, no, it wasn't even that he didn't give up. She really got when she was with that KKK white supremacist that she was promoting, and she couldn't kind of weasel her way out of it. It was too late. That's really pretty much the only thing that
he's up by 1 point. This is going to be a runoff. Walker and Warnock is going to be a runoff.
Yeah, that's true too.
And yes, the game changes. But you then have to conform yourself to the game, and that's the problem. We don't conform to it. We just want it to stay the same.
But that's the thing. Why should we have to conform to game? If everybody is playing their game their way, why are we the only ones that have to conform to a game again that is rigged against us? So we will never win. Even conforming to the game will never be beneficial to us. Listen, Barack Obama was placed in in his seat or even told to run as a joke from a fellow Republican. I mean, from a fellow Democrat. And it was a joke. And he said, "Oh, it would be funny if Barack won or ran," and he decided to run to just say, "You know what? Let me. I think I can do it. It'll be more than just a joke. I can actually do this." And of course, they backed him or whatever. But until that whole Hillary situation, but it's always this playing the game, but still never just winning flat out because you've actually played a good game. Even with this, I'm just looking at them calling again Marco Rubio. It's like, first of all, you change the whole redistricting, and then you do this.
I mean, Marco Rubio was not going to beat Val Demings. I mean, we just got to be honest about that. Marco Rubio was not going to beat. Marco Rubio was not going to win against. Was not going to beat. I mean, Val Demings was not going to beat Marco Rubio.
Stacey lost a lot of outlets are calling it. That's crazy.
I mean, Stacey Abrams, she dropped the ball.
You should confront the game. This being played against you means you're losing, sir. Right. I mean, there's no other way to put it. If somebody is playing the game and they've already rigged it so you can lose, you're going to lose. Even if you think you're winning, you're still losing because you're playing their game the way they want you to.
Yeah, Rubio won. I mean, Val Demings was not going to be Rubio.
Mm. Oh my gosh, what state was that? Homeboy got murdered.
Who?
I don't know. I couldn't see the top of it, but it was like she got 60% of the vote. He only got 34. He got destroyed. Jesus.
95%. North Carolina is too
close to call. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too close to call.
That just means they still haven't counted all the things yet.
Yeah.
Well, this is why I always say, and I always say this, even when we're not even an election season, that your local elections matter so much because they are the people that actually run your states. Because anything can happen. Biden could say tomorrow that he is everybody's debt for college is paid, and if you paid money, you get your money back. Them states can say, no, we ain't doing it. And that's it. That's all. You can, you can probably try to fight it, and go higher. But at the end of the day, the states can make their own. They can decide what they will take from a program and what they will not. And a lot of times, this is what you're left with. Okay, so there's one precinct I think in North Carolina that she is winning that they haven't completed all of the.
Oh, and there's the DRC Center. That's in Tennessee. It's the DRC Center that inmates are able to get help, get assistance to get back. They can take classes.
Yeah, I think so too, JC.
I mean, so. Stacey mobilized. Yeah, she mobilized.
Yeah, but I think I really do think I still think those same people that were afoot for her losing the first time, as far as stealing those, I think they just did it again. They just, they didn't want to do it for Trump, but they
just got the votes. Stacey did not get the votes.
No, that's not even true. When she's proven in court that she did get the votes the first time. She did prove that she got the votes the first time, so I'm just not.
What are they about to call? Oh, well, duh. We knew that John Kennedy was going back to the Senate. He smashed this African American dude.
Not call the one called a crackhead talking about something. If you don't call the police, call a crackhead. I mean, that kind of, just the fact that we even are able to say that and that's okay. It's like, what the fuck are where the fuck are we living?
I mean, but that goes into the game.
No, it does not go into the game because then we're playing that game of the same 1940s, 1950s, 30s. That whole play nice with them, play the game. Do not, upset them. No,
that's the problem.
What? There was a third part. There was a third person in their race. That's a whole nother thing. This whole 3-party system. Listen, if you're in the race in the beginning and you don't qualify, you can't come in at the end to try and knock off some votes, because that's just what this Oliver person is doing, knocking off a good 50,000 votes between Warnock and Walker. It's crazy that they're allowed to do that. Well, third-party candidate ain't doing nothing for the gubernatorial race, though. He only got 1%.
Exactly.
But even still, it shouldn't be able to do that. It's like if you don't qualify, just as the same as the Republican Democratic ticket, if they don't qualify for a certain extent, it's like you can't. Why would you be on the ballot? You know you're not going to win. You're just going to stifle off votes for other people. And right now, that's the reason why this race is extremely tight between Walker and Warnock, which shouldn't be at all.
I mean,
but you got 50,000 votes that people are throwing away.
You got.
This is crazy.
You got, once again, you got.
I can't. My nerves is bad.
I bet they are.
Whatever. John Kennedy. He's a waste of space. I can't stand him.
So who do you think, if the House does, who do you think is going to be the next Speaker of the House?
You mean who I think? What's his face is going to be the Speaker. The minority leader now is going to be the Speaker.
Yeah. And that's going to be a mess.
A kiss ass. Trump kiss ass. Because he first, I can't believe Trump incited the riot and then went down there to kiss his ass and then come back and talk about, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't said, get the fuck out of here. Them the type of people like I can't even respect even as lawmakers, because, the people have sent you here, not just one person. And that's what, this whole thing's about. Like this is starting to be very brown coatish, and I'm not wearing no Star of David on my clothes. I'm telling you that right now. We're not about to do that. Because
we're going to give you we're going to give you a not the Star of David. We're just going to give you a rainbow.
What, you don't think you're going to get it? I don't care if you think you read right now. That don't mean nothing.
I'm not going. We're going to get you an African American.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Think what you want.
Fetterman. Oz is catching up to Fetterman.
That's crazy.
That was so wrong to talk about Fetterman the way they did.
That is crazy.
Just because he had a stroke?
Yeah.
So because he had a stroke, they talked about him like a dog.
But this is so crazy. I can't. I really cannot. See, Montana, Nevada, Utah. Yeah, my people in here shouting because Maryland, Wes Moore has won. He's the first African American governor of Maryland. Yeah, but it'd be nice to see that in Georgia. Yeah, but this is so crazy. So crazy. All they're going to do is then work around giving Trump a free ticket out of jail for the shit that he's done. That's all this is. That's it. That's crazy. Are they still too close to call? Yep, still too close to call. Wow, damn, he done went up 3 points. The North Carolina race. Oh my gosh, they are like neck and neck. He's only 0.7. Vance has just took the lead over Ryan. Ridiculous. That is crazy. Fetterman still is holding the lead against Dr. Oz. This is so crazy. All we need is one extra seat. That's it. That is crazy. And too close to call.
Herschel Walker has taken the lead.
Not on my end. I mean, he was only like a what, point, like a 1 point away, like a fraction of a point away. That is so crazy. I would have none, and I mean none. Like, respect for a lot of white folks will go out the window at this point if they let Herschel Walker win just because he's a Republican. Because they hold everybody else with so much standard that happens to be a person, a black person in their camp. They hold them with such high esteem and have to, be so this type of person that they just let, we don't care if he's had abortions. It's all about power. It's ridiculous when you're sitting up there telling women what they can and cannot do with their bodies. It's absolutely ridiculous. Jesus Christ. And everybody say, well, this has a lot to do, or this says a lot about the current president. It doesn't. It doesn't indeed. This is all about Trump and him protecting his ass. So when he does decide to run, those people will be able to protect him and he won't be charged. That's all this is. I'm sorry, were you going to say something? You muted yourself.
Oh, I muted myself. I'm sorry. I'm just watching.
I'll let you on. Oh, man. That is crazy. Let's see. Ohio. Oh, they're just calling with the different districts. And voting matters, man. Voting matters. Your vote matters. The only reason why they try to take it from you is because they know that if you have it and you utilize it, you can do damage, but you can't do damage sitting on the sidelines. You really can't. You definitely got to be that change you want to see. This is going to be a tight 48.1. Yeah, Walker is now in the lead. No, MSNBC still has him as a 0.1 behind. I'm not really feeling MSNBC right now, but only because the dude that does the elections, he really breaks down the numbers. Cool, but yeah, the way they fired Tiffany Cross was definitely very foul.
But why aren't you watching Fox News?
I don't watch that shit. I definitely don't watch Fox News, but I'm not watching Fox News at all. But I definitely don't like, the way they did Tiffany Cross, because that's ridiculous. And it again shows even on a liberal level, the level of disrespect that a black woman is must allow and not say nothing, yet you can't attack them. They can call you all types of racist, starting a race war and all, and as soon as you clap back, you get fired. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. But, we're always the ones pulling through for the vote. I'm just saying. Mm-mm-mm. This is not looking good at all. So you can kiss your what is that? The refund, your loan forgiveness. You can kiss those goodbye because that's not happening.
I mean,
That's
I wasn't depending on that as is.
No, but I'm just saying, even if people were depending upon that, you can forget that. You probably by the end of tonight can forget protecting your right to do what you want to do with your body as a woman, because if they get control of both houses, they're going to make it mandatory a nation law, which then your states can't really, you can't fight too much of that.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, the chickens are coming home to roost.
You know what? Whatever. So anyway, this is crazy. I mean, it's fun at the same time, but it's also very crazy. It's crazy when people who are being elected don't really have a platform. They really just Trump supporters. They honor the people that trashed the Capitol, which I feel like it's crazy because they should be in jailed. But yeah, whatever.
Hey,
all right, Pennsylvania governor has went blue.
I'm still looking for Nancy Pelosi right now so I can take care of her. I searched high and low. I was all on the roof looking for her.
That's what I feel about that. To leave Nancy alone. People coming after her knees. Leave Nancy and her old knees alone.
I was all on the roof looking for Nancy.
Exactly. There we go. We talking. New York has reelected the Letitia James as Attorney General of New York by 70% of the vote. So Absolutely. She can still attack, huh?
Absolutely, we're gonna get her back so she can continue this.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Well, she can continue her job and fucking going after Trump and the Trump organization. So at least something can happen. We're going.
So now people need to think long and hard before they lay down with somebody.
Well, no, but you can't even say that when the situations are happening where it's incest involved. That's the part that's crazy. Oh, wait, do we have some hope somewhere in Iowa? Is one of the red states flipping? Milwaukee, are you flipping?
Oh, Milwaukee's gonna flip.
Johnson might lose this. Oh boy. But it's probably too early. Johnson. He looks like one of those fathers from the Children of the Corn, the bright silver hair. But he's been a Trump champion supporter on the Senate.
So the young man who's running for Senate in Milwaukee, I actually went to school with him, Mandela Barnes.
Okay.
I actually went to school with him.
Oh, cool.
He's a pretty good guy. His family's really good, really cool. His aunties and his family's actually been, into politics very strongly.
Okay.
Really strongly.
He won in some counties though. They're just going through the counties that he's won and some of the counties he didn't win. I'm not sure how many percentage of this one county he's in. He's definitely not picking up no points in that county. He is down by half. Johnson's got like 82%. He's only got like 37. This is real crazy. Crazy. Yeah, it's just We about to have what's that? The wives' tale. We about to be living in
This election
purge.
this election is proof that the last presidential election was nothing but a I hate Trump. He's an idiot. We're not going for him.
Yeah,
This
but
election,
that's the same thing that was proven with Trump's election that they hated Hillary. So it's the same thing. But
same thing.
but at this but at this point, with all that is happening, if you're trying to get the country on the right path, to at least where we are, back in a place where, all right, cool, we got rid of Trump, we can get some things back in place, and then maybe if you decided, okay, you wanted to, but to put somebody in place to kind of fix the mess, and then you turn around the midterms and vote people to deter fixing is ass backwards. It's really ass backwards. Because there's no way anything going to get fixed with people blocking, with the ability to block anything that is being put forward. No way. No way. You could cancel Christmas on that. Nothing is going to get done. This is so crazy. Them's your peoples.
Who's your peoples?
No.
Your peoples ain't getting out and voting.
No, it's not just we. First of all, we're only like 13 point change percent of the population, so we cannot win an election just from us going out to vote. And it's great to think of that, of every black person just going out and vote and we making a change. We can't really just do that by ourselves.
I'm not talking about African American. I'm talking about of color.
But I'm just saying. A lot of it falls on, everybody else. And again, that is the driving tool of the supremacy part, where you can gather the others against one other group and you still have the majority, even if you are losing the majority because your birth rate is not high, and so on and so forth. And that's the way they're able to maintain power. And that is the ultimate sad part. That, again, like I said, you have people coming in from Mexico across the border who, you get your papers, you're here illegally, and then you turn around and vote Republican. And they're the same motherfuckers that want to kick you out the country to begin with. Makes no sense, ass backwards. But of course, you're taught, well, you don't want to be treated like one of them, then you'll go, with what you think is best, which I think is.
I keep forgetting Alaska's even in the United States. I keep forgetting about them.
Whatever. There's no way you could forget about them.
I keep forgetting. I keep thinking they're a part of Russia.
They're in Russia's backyard.
That they're still a part of Russia.
Whatever. Nobody cares about the Democrats' Senate seats that really were uncontested. Get to the ones that are really like contest worthy. How many? Difference of like 900 and something points. They are basically at tied, dead heat. And I think Walker is in the lead by like 900 points. Illinois governor, we know he was going to win. Again, go somewhere where we're questioning. Too close to call. Wisconsin gubernatorial race. 53 for the Democrat, 45 for the Republican. Another Trump supporter. Just crazy. Just crazy. And just think, a couple years ago, people that supported Barack Obama wasn't even allowed to support him or the Affordable Care Act because they were going to lose their seats. That's the part that's really crazy. That's the part to just show you that it's not about the person in office. It really, at the end of the day, cuts down to
What's the Affordable Care Act? What's that? Oh, you mean Obamacare?
No, the name of it is the Affordable Care Act. They
Oh, no.
used Obamacare because Obama's a black man. So to make the white people feel like, oh, this is horrible, we're going to call it the Obamacare. And they hate it. But the reality is a lot of them white people with no teeth and no health insurance are the ones benefiting from the Affordable Care Act. And I'm sorry to be yelling, but it's very, very true. Ridiculous. But that's, again, another Republican playbook on race and to promote racism and get people out to vote just on the simple fact of race and hating Obama or hating a black man being president. That anything you call
I'm still waiting to see his birth certificate.
He showed the long form. First of all, you can't even run for president without being.
I'm just kidding.
Born here. I know, but I'm just saying, like, realistically, it's stupid. The fact that people still ran with that, it's crazy.
Maybe.
Burns is holding on. He might be the great black hope of this whole Senate race. Burns might be, if he wins, he might be the actual he actually might be the saving grace of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And then we gotta sit here and deal with fucking
Mnuchin.
Joe Manchin.
No Manchin, I'm sorry. Joe Manchin, I'm sorry.
And Christian Cinema, fake bitch.
They're Democrats.
No, they are Republican stand-ins posing as Democrats. They are Republican stand-ins.
They're in the Democratic Party. They go to the Democratic.
They are there on purpose. They are there on purpose, and they was there to sit until they became activated, and they were green-lighted activation once the Democrats took power, because they weren't talking all that shit. They weren't talking none of that mess the whole time. Democrats didn't have power. They weren't pushing for anything. The minute Democrats had power, then it was, oh no, we're gonna do this together. Yeah, you ain't fooling me.
They're working for constituents.
They were planted. First of all, West Virginia is a very Republican stronghold. I know it definitely is. So Manchin getting through was only because he promised them exactly what he delivered on. And he's been there promising it ever since until he was activated. And he became activated when the Democrats took power. And then watch, when it's his turn to run for re-election, which I believe his seat may be up, if not next year during the presidential race, he's gonna leave. Watch he leave. He's not gonna stay because he had done his job, and they're not gonna, at that point, if this goes the way this is going, there's no need for him. There's no need for him. Why would he stay?
Trying to get the land back.
So that's crazy. Yeah, but anyway, I've been on here long enough. I'm ready to go. My nerves is bad.
I know they are.
Whatever. Ain't nobody playing.
No, they are.
Ain't nobody playing with you. But anyway, we'll talk. I'll save my stories and stuff for next week. And as far as I usually do a segment of the it's like, who said that about stuff that's going on. I listened to your fellow or former castmate in his argument. Personally, I felt like it was slick shade to everybody. I just feel like, one, I wasn't there and included, so and that's a whole nother thing. Well, whatever. But you was talking about everybody, including myself, and I just felt like, okay, well, if you got issues with particular people, keep it with those particular people. You don't need to lump everybody in it because you find fault. But everybody always says that. And I've been in other groups where people always, oh, when I left, everybody left, or that thing is, the show is over and this, that, and the other. And it's just like, everybody brings something different to every particular panel. Everybody's show, everybody's podcast, or whatever you want to call it, is different. And they have their own unique set of groups and people who watch and listen. So, that kills me when people talk that, like they bring the party or they bring the numbers. People will watch and stay or move on just because they choose to. Sometimes it's because their favorite person left. Sometimes it's just because they don't feel the same vibe because it's different. But that just happens. And I just think it's sad when people can't just be adult and move on without kind of airing out or having this back and forth. I think that part is sad.
It was very sad yesterday, and I was very irritated. I kind of got off. That's the reason why I was having so much fun on there, because to be honest with you, I knew that it really didn't. It wasn't going to go anywhere. It was a pointless. It was endless for us.
Well, it does go somewhere, but that's the point. It goes to building numbers and building a platform, because people are going back and forth. So everybody's running to this platform to see what they say and running to that platform to see the response. And that's what creates the issue. Iowa. Gosh darn it. Black woman was running. She only got 44% of the vote. See, and that's the part that's crazy. And it's not just from us not voting. It's from them others that act like they support. And when they get in the booth, they change. Now watch when the numbers come out and you see the rise of white women voting for the Republican ticket. And then they act like, what? No, we didn't do that. And then they want to go outside and march with their pussycats on, talking about something. Oh, we stand for women's rights. No, a lot of them, when they're in the booth, they talk a Democratic or a liberal talking, out loud. But when they go,
they don't realize. White women realize that affirmative action was not. They think that when they hear affirmative action was just for African Americans.
No, it was for them first. It was to help them first.
And so now when they're back to wearing skirts to their ankles and not able to vote, and
it's going to be a whole mess that they ain't ready for. I'll tell you that.
They're gonna have problems.
They won't be able to have a problem because it's just going to be what it is. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the Handmaid's Tale in real life. And then we're even looking at the Purge at some point too, I'm sure.
I think we need the Purge, though.
No,
I think we need it. I got some people I need to get rid of, especially of that T-shirt. Yeah, we need to get rid of him.
No, we're not doing that. And another thing I wanted to talk about real quick, before I go. This is nothing that you necessarily know about. It's something more in beef sector wise. So it's funny to me how I was watching. I didn't watch the Jay Wilson situation, but when Duchess Kelly Love was basically letting King Roman News know exactly what was happening with what Jay Wilson said about him, and King Roman had every right to respond the way he did. I thought that was just. What I didn't understand, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you who know what was going on, but I didn't understand Jay Wilson's response to what the song that Duchess Kelly Love did about him with the Grinder song, and his response to feeling some type of way like he was backing King Roman or standing behind him, when at the same time, if I do not recall, when Duchess decided to part ways with that person that shall not be named on this platform, immediately Jay Wilson decided, I'm going to go after Duchess Kelly Love because he's always been shading me. But he never said nothing during the time when Jay Wilson and Duchess Kelly, that person that will not be named, and Duchess Kelly Love were partners, where he would go on his platform and they'd be up all hours going back and forth and talking to the chat. He never said nothing about Duchess Kelly Love shading him. All of a sudden, when they stopped talking, then, Duchess Kelly Love is always shading me. I'm going to shade him back. It didn't make sense to me. Okay. It didn't make sense to me. That was really lost. So lost. Like, I really didn't get it. Like, I was so... How you going to be mad about the man making a song, kind of, shading you, I guess, in a funny way or whatever, when you, as soon as that happened, you did the same thing. So I really didn't understand. But again, people here are very selective, so that's a whole nother thing. What'd you say? Right, I think the COVID was about the purge. What'd you say? I think. Yeah, I don't know. Like, sometimes he remembers that that we're co-workers, and then the other times he acts like they're not co-workers. It's just interesting. And I'm not picking no side. I'm just saying I've watched it, so it looks kind of like, well, he didn't do anything different than you did when he decided to personally and privately remove himself from that other person. And when he did that, then all of a sudden, here you come, having this shade for Duchess Kelly Love, but you didn't have no shade for Duchess Kelly Love beforehand. So I don't know. I just didn't understand it. It didn't make no sense to me. Maybe somebody else could bring some light to that, but I was just like, it didn't make no sense to me. I don't understand it. No, it's not. Like, I'm not necessarily thinking. Like, if I see something, it's just like, that's funny. But you didn't think that you were taking a side when when he decided to make his decision instead of staying out of it. You immediately jumped on, he's always been shading me, so I'm going to shade him back now. And there have been tons of times where you've had ample opportunity to, address the shade, quote unquote, that Duchess Kelly Love is giving you, and you've never taken it upon yourself to do that. It's funny. And as far as what he said about King Roman, about people being him being boring or whatever. I mean, that kills me when people say that, because the fact of the matter is, yeah, he may be boring to you, but there are people that probably do really enjoy him. I know. I watch him in the morning as well, and I do enjoy the difference that he gets. I don't really talk about a lot of entertainment news, so there are people that I get my entertainment, rap, hip hop, and all that kind of news from, and he happens to be one of them. So I really don't, whatever. You talk about, he does this, he does that, and I'm just like, well, didn't you at one point? You was doing politics, you was singing, you was doing scripture and church, and you were doing all these things, and you stuck on whatever, was more lucrative for you, which is fine. But then you can't why would you come at people when you have ran the gambit of your quote unquote talents to kind of decide what fits for you and your audience that would garner you more money? Now, again, a lot of people are not here for the coin, and that's fine too. It's not a thing of, well, if you're not here for the coin, then why are you here? Well, some people are here because they enjoy what they do. They enjoy the interaction that they have with the people. It's not always about making coin for a lot of people. So it is what it is. It's still too close to call in Ohio. Jesus Christ, this is making me feel away. Yeah, but that's all I had to say about that. I just really felt like that was, I don't know. It was a little the jealousy was a little much. I mean, I don't really know what it started from. I heard bits and pieces that somebody was asked to be a fluffer and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, oh, okay, but it's somebody's opinion, and for you to feel slighted from another person's opinion, it just was weird to me, you know. But then it brought me back to my situation years back, where, you know, if one person is mad at you, you have to show your kind of team colors, because you got to be mad at the person too if the other person doesn't like them. And I was just like, we're a little, not even a little, we're way too old to be acting like that. Like it's time for growth. You know, so I don't understand. Oh, Governor Hot Wheels has won in Texas. God damn. God damn. Governor Hot Wheels. Oh well, he's gonna be racing around Texas again. Y'all better button up, because he's about to cut the electricity off on y'all mofos. Dang. That's crazy. Governor Hot Wheels got 54% of the vote. And what's his name? Beto O'Rourke only got 44%. That's crazy. But yeah, I really don't. I don't know. People should, you know, be able to do what they do, and everybody is not going to. And one thing, truly, and this I've learned even going to Chicago, that just because you think that the person doesn't bring numbers or they don't have a lot of people in their chats, don't think that they don't bring influence. Because there were plenty of people that I was very surprised that were excited to meet me that I didn't even know what till I got there. And these are people that didn't even drop in my chat or anything. So the influence you have, and this is the King Roman, if you happen to watch this later, but the influence that you do have, don't knock it. Don't worry about the numbers or what people say about the people in your chat or how many people were in your chat, because there's an influence that you do have. And even the people that, you know, talk about your low numbers or whatever it is, they see it. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. That would have been cool. But, you know, you might see me in New York. It's my hometown. So, you know, don't be surprised if you see me when you do your New York trip. Oh, what is that? Okay, Fetterman is still holding on. But I'm not sure this would make much difference for the Senate at this point. The Senate still needs like one seat. They may be able to hold on, but no. Yeah, yep, I sure am. Yep. Sorry about that. Yep, but I sure am. Queens of New York all day. Yep. But yeah, just like everybody, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let these people deter you about what your numbers should look like. Your numbers will look like what they're supposed to look like. And people will be influenced. Like, the only thing I did this for is to let my friends know what's going on as far as when they're voting, so they can stop calling me and asking me, hey, what's going on now? Or what should I do? Or who should I vote for? That's all I did it for. And the fact that many people have contacted me and called me or emailed me and said, hey, this is the first time I'm voting. The second time I'm voting. You know, I may not say anything to you in your lives or whatever, but I always hit you up in the DMs or whatever and ask you questions, and you always there to answer. That's what I do this for. All that other stuff is like cool. Like, one, I'm not gonna let you talk to me crazy, because I will respond if I choose to. But on the other hand, you know, it's like there's a bigger picture here and a bigger duty. So, and it's like at the end of the day, to be really honest with you, it shows the people that weren't popular growing up to the difference of the people who actually were popular. Because the way y'all act on here, you tell it. Yeah, right. Like, popularity is cool, but it's a lifestyle. It's a whole way you carry yourself that will make you popular regardless of what you do. You talking to somebody, I would get in trouble for the amount of people I would have on my mom's step. Just from sitting there. I look up from reading a book and there'd be mad people just sitting around me, just like, y'all was sitting here the whole time? Yeah. Okay. And my mother would think that I would call them over, and I'm like, I ain't call nobody over. I was just chilling. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I'm sorry. I just keep looking at this like this can't be real, but it is. Yeah. No, I got you. Brother Mac, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But enjoy it while you can, because everybody's gonna have their moment, and nobody has control of the popularity of YouTube. It fluctuates. Everybody has their moment, and there are new people coming up, and so they're gonna have their moment. And you trying to be shady to everybody to have people respond back and forth to you is a bit unbecoming of somebody who's supposed to be of such moral standard. I just think that's you do a disservice to a lot of situations, and playing that game is one thing to crack a joke here and there. We do that. That's what it's all about. But to particularly feel some type of way because other people are enjoying another person's commentary about a content creator and laughing because they enjoy it is a bit of a problem. The shit was funny, period. Whether you want to admit it or not, the shit was funny. I listen to her. I don't agree with everything she says, but you got to admit when Deanna Irving is on it, she's on it, and she's funny. And the shit is funny. It is actually funny. So you can't deny that. Just like I guess a few times when I've heard you happen to be funny. This was a while ago, but you just happen to be funny. And sometimes when you're just funny, you're just funny. But for people to be upset about that or that be your point of attack is a bit much. A bit much. We're not on here to pick sides. It's an entertainment application used just for that entertainment and somewhat informative, but on this side, it's mainly entertainment. So get over yourself. Oh, man. Okay, so Missouri Senate race looks like it's pushing towards the Republican. Pennsylvania still holding on. Fetterman is still holding on. Let's see, I don't know. This might go through the night. But if the Senate can hold, I mean, it won't be much, but a blocking back and forth. But at least we'll have some safeguard, I guess. But we shall see. But guys, it was great as always having you guys here. And definitely look forward to you. What do you say? Right. No, you're absolutely right. I got it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's just like you can tell. I mean, and that's the part that I wish people would get. Those things that you've dealt with as a child, or those kind of insecurities you dealt with as a child, they show up in your adult life when you act the way you act towards situations that, if you step back and look at it, it looks like a child being made fun of, and you're just like, oh, you hurt my feelings, I'm going to come after you, when the person didn't really do anything to you. They're just laughing at a joke. Just like everybody's standing around and somebody's doing your mama jokes and the whole group is laughing, and you go and pick on the person that you think, oh, they can't beat me, so I'm going to pick on this person to make them feel like you better not be laughing at me. Come on, like, if it's funny, it's funny. Period. Point blank. End of story. Moving right along, in the words of Just Kimmy. And that's what you should have done. Because the fact that, you say you don't watch, I don't watch him, that's a damn lie. Because on his birthday, you was talking about, ain't nobody in his chat. Y'all go over there and wish him a happy birthday and say that Jay Wilson sent you. And then you had nerve to drop him $10. So to say you don't watch, but you did do that, is bullshit, because you're lying. You're lying. But then you try to insult him but say you don't watch because you think that's an insult. But the reality is you did watch, because you went over there on his birthday, and not only did you cash at him, but you told the people in your chat to go over there. So you did watch. So what the fuck are you saying? It's that part for me that makes no sense. Make it make sense. But anyway, like I said, that's enough of that. It ain't worth it. Keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, you're ruffling feathers somewhere for what I do not know. Because again, like you even said, if you stay in your lane and he stays in his, your lanes don't touch. So why would you even be concerned with what somebody else is doing? But it's because you see that there's something there that could really catapult you. And once you realize that and get in contact with it, you'll be good to go. But guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. I will continue to watch this as it unfolds, and hopefully we retain at least some seats in the Senate to still have something to fight back against. But I don't know. It's looking kind of tight. But as always, just be safe and wear your mask and do all those things that you need to do. And until next time, and definitely keep Brother Nate in your prayers. Definitely don't want to forget. I don't want to close out the show without asking you all to just keep Brother Nate in your prayers. Keep his family in your prayers. That's all we can do. That is the mightiest thing that we can do, is come together collectively, because prayer does change things. So we definitely want to keep Brother Nate in our prayers. All right. And with that being said, you guys have a great night. God bless and good night. And thanks to Jay for stopping by. Definitely want to say thank you to him. And you will see us on the Kings at King's Jive show on Friday nights. I believe it's going to be this Friday, but I'll check. But you'll see it on my community board if it is. So you can hop over and join us there. All right. Good night. Peace.